today's video is definitely different than anything I've posted here before. So I will say that, and I will also say that I was very hesitant to share, but have been pushed and encouraged and prodded along the way to get here. Hey y'all, my name is Jodine, if it's your first time here. So if you see the name of today's video, it is called Seeing God in the Midst of Grief. About almost 6 months, no, 5 months, about almost 5 months ago, it's over 5 months now, closer to 6, but I very suddenly and unexpectedly lost my dad. It was earth-shattering. Like one day you're on the phone or you're texting and talking about seeing him, and the next day he's gone. No underlying diseases or medical concerns that would have even made me consider the possibility of losing him. Now, I struggled and was struggling, continually trying to process through what it means that he's gone. The wild part, there's just so many wild parts to my story. But I had just left. I had just started to transition out of the state that I was in and into a new state. He was still in the state that I was in, and it was just like a lot of questions about the timing of it all. And I decided to still do what I had said I would do, which was go on to a Master's of Divinity program. It was something that me and my dad were both very excited about. Like, we're very similar in regards to, if you watch other videos, you know, I'm also like trained and licensed as a therapist. Counseling and like theology are areas that I would say I like got from my dad. I love of and am very much his twin in a lot of regards in that sense. So here I am at the beginning of this transition without my biggest supporter, without my biggest source of encouragement, without the person that I like dreamed of getting to do this with. We had even considered like going to school at the same time. He was looking into programs. I was helping him do that. And then he was gone, but I still had this choice to make. And I decided to still go to school. It felt like though my understanding of the situation was non-existent, and it was incomprehensible or comprehensible, I just felt like I wanted to continue, and that's what he would want me to do. I still felt like I was so much in a place of purpose. So the person that I wanted to be there with me in that place of purpose was no longer in my world. Anyway, so hard. I remember at different points I would wake up and cry before class, barely make it through the day, and then come back and cry after class. And I just had so many questions. Like, if you've watched any of my other content, you also know that I'm a Christian. So I just had so many questions in terms of like asking God, why now and how? Like so often I was like, how am I gonna make it through this? And I had friends, even when I was deciding to like register for classes, and I was just like, y'all, like, what if my grief takes me out? Because there were certain points where I just could not make it through the day. Like for me, it was like heaviness and tiredness often, and my usual like productivity that y'all see on this channel was gone. And I also was struggling with my identity. And the more that I processed through my grief, I realized that my dad had given me so much space and room to be me, to find safety and to find security, and know that no matter what I tried, that he would be there with me. So here I am at the cusp of, I'm gonna cry in this video, and it's gonna be okay. But here I am at the cusp of this new thing, and just feeling like, who am I? Like, who am I? And why am I here again? Who am I and why am I here again? Anyhow, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful because I saw God. I like look back and I'm like, you were there carrying me. Like when I look back over the months, to be honest, there were moments where I was like moment by moment, not even day by day, not even day by day. It was just moment by moment when people asked me how I was doing. There are a bunch of other things that I can share too, and testimonies of like what God was doing in terms of housing and like friendships and relationships and just so many of those things. But right now I just want to say like God was with me and God carried me. I could not do it in my own strength. And I think I'm so grateful for the people that God allowed to come into my world and to help carry me, like lifelong friends or lifetime friends who have been there through various chapters, who were on the phone with me, my prayer partner who was praying me through, people who would just drop everything to come and be with me and check in on me or send me messages and saying like, I'm praying for you. So though the reality of my situation didn't change, like my dad wasn't back, I saw God in the people that he allowed to be there, even like people that I had just met, like new classmates. I can like think of some specifically who some knew and some didn't know. And their words or their encouragement or their advice, little did they know everything that I was wrestling with. And yet they had something that was incredible to say, or like incredible to say, or like fitting, or just so on time in what I needed. And for that, I am forever grateful. So I think when I look back, because I've just finished the semester and I've like gotten my grades and I made it through finals, and I remember reading one of my papers and I was like, who wrote this? You know, I mean, I did it clearly, but it was just like, I was so out of it. And just like taking one assignment at a time and taking one paragraph at a time. And I was just like amazed, because when I look back, like I finished with all A's, and I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way to go from being like, will I make it through this semester? Will I be able to show up to class? I did miss one class and I got a 0 out of 5. I'm a little bit better about that. So that's the thing. I'm don't shade in this video. But that day, I chose me that day. I chose me. I was like, I was pushing myself through the day, just trying to make it to the end of the day and the end of classes that day. But I knew that I was pushing, and no matter what I was doing, whether it was journaling or like processing or like taking a break or eating, I just knew that I needed to go home. I was like, I need to go home. I cannot stay here. And I got a 0 out of 5. And I'm a little bitter about it, as you can see. But I think I'm also like, I chose me. I chose my well-being, and I'm grateful to have done that, because I think at the end of the day, it's what I needed that day. So like just to go away for a minute and to move away from school defining me. Like if y'all know me, school is such a huge part of my world. And over the years, I've been working through how I relate to school. But I saw God. I saw God in terms of what it even means to be productive. I saw God in what it means to be cared for, what it means to be carried, what it means to give my best and truly trust God with the rest. I just like saw God in so many moments. So to look, like I think I look, not just because even before the grades, I look back and I'm like, it's such a testimony that in my heaviest moments, when I was so unsure, I saw God. And though it wasn't exactly my particular plan or my particular way that I thought, I saw God in the people. I saw God in God's care for me. I saw God in songs that ministered to me. I saw God in people who randomly shared stories with me that did not know how fitting it was. I saw God with staff members who made space for me in their offices. I just saw God. And though my journey with grief will continue, it will always continue. And though I continue to deeply miss my dad every day and wish I could just call him and talk to him and laugh with him and experience his friendship, I see God in the ways that my dad even impacted the world and impacted me and shaped me and how I see things. So in a lot of ways, I feel like the way that I live, the way that I've formed friendships, I'm so grateful because I think my dad taught me so much of that. And God allows me to experience the depth of that every day. So I think my encouragement is even when it doesn't feel like it, God is with you. I think my other encouragement is for people like me who are so used to productivity and pushing through, that grief is not something that we push through. I think we make space for it. Someone I deeply appreciate, when I was in her office, was like telling her all these things, and she gave me this image of a box and a ball, because I was just like, it's just like my grief is everywhere. It's touching everything that I do. She gave me this image of a box and a ball, and she's like, the ball in the box touches everything. Like, it touches all the sides of the box as it bounces around, and that's what grief looks like. But as the ball gets smaller, it touches less, kind of thing. And I think I'm beginning to see that. My grief still touches a lot. And I think at one point I worried that continuing on meant I was forgetting my dad. And I feel like for those of you who watch this and who have experienced grief or who are experiencing it, it's not true. It's okay to get up each day. It's okay to remember while moving. It's okay to deeply desire that person's presence every day. Yeah. I can't give you professional advice. I don't know, I'm a therapist, but this ain't my area of specialty. But what I can say is, even when it's not as clear where God is, as I look back, I can tell you that God is with you, that God hears you, that God knows the things that you're experiencing. And I feel like more than anything else, keep trusting, keep clinging, keep hoping, be honest, be vulnerable, be upset, care for yourself, ask God to help you, lean on friends. You will make it through. I pray that just as God carried me, and I see it even more visibly now, that you too in a month, that you too in 6 months, that you too in 7 months will see and be able to know how much God carried you. Until next time. Bye.